Hello, my main focus today will be the early and high classical architecture and architectural sculptures, and one of the first displays of this was the Temple of Zeus, which is the original place where they held the Olympic Games. And it was created by the architecture level of The structure, of course, is not what it used to be because of corrosion that happened over time, but the remaining pieces of the structure are a good reminder of some of the amazing things that humans have built. In this picture, you can see what's left of the structure that used to be the Temple of Zeus. There are still some standing columns and some of the structure on top. Despite it being so corroded, it is still an impressive structure. The temple is very similar to the Doric temple, and both of those temples follow the same pattern of the Temple of Apia. All have the same number of columns in the same pattern. The main difference is that the Temple of Zeus was more decorated and luxurious than the Temple of Apia. On the left is the Temple of Doric, and on the right is the Temple of Apia. As you can see, both are very similar. However, both have been kept in better shape than the Temple of Zeus, and so they are easier to compare. Heracles, the founder of the Olympics, is tied to the temple by how many times he is depicted in the structure. It depicts his 12 labors, one in which he holds up the world for Atlas. In the depictions, the faces of all the people have serious expressions instead of smiling faces, which is contrasted with the late Archaic period. This style has been named the severe style, and is first of its kind. Here is an example of how muscular Heracles' architectures depicted him because of the amount of tasks and how difficult they were. On the east pediment of the temple, the chariot race between Pelops and Oinamos is sculpted into the structure. The story behind this race is that Oinamos was told a fortune that when his daughter got married, he would die. So, after that, he would challenge every suitor to a chariot race from Olympia to Corinth, and if Oinamos won, he would kill the suitor. However, every race was rigged from the start because Oinamos owned the divine horse of his father Ares. Oinamos won until one day he met a suitor named Pelop. Pelop bribed the king's groom to sabotage Oinamos' chariot so they would break during the race. Pelops went on to win the race, and Oinamos died in the process. Pelop ended up drowning the king's groom instead of paying her bribe, so she put a curse on him and his descendants, which in turn killed Pelop's son, Atreus. On the picture shown, you can see Pelops with his new bride, Oinamos' daughter, after his victory. The pedimental statues are all facing the chariot race as if watching a play. All are waiting to see what happens next, except for a man people commonly call a seer. He can see the future and knows exactly what's going to happen next, so his body language tells us he's horrified, despite the severe style making his face stale. The seer is depicted as an old wrinkly man, as he is in other pieces as well. In this photo, you can see how the seer is depicted as an old man with wrinkly skin and low muscle mass. In the western pediment is Apollo at rest. However, the scene around him is chaotic, and this mixture of chaotic and calm summarizes most of the metopes in the Temple of Zeus. In this picture, you can see how calm Apollo is despite how chaotic the scene around him is.